GoLoud presents the Talking Bollox podcast.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your weight in it now. Tell your body you're ten. Walk it hard and long. When you finish that,
The hip knocker.
go down, go down, go down. Come up, come up, come up, come up, go down.
Like I went up to the kid's house to speak to the younger brother just because he was doing a bit of boxing stuff and just to kind of give him that motivation to stay in the gym and stuff and doing the usual thing, but going up and seeing the effects of what suicide does to a family and seeing the father was one of the most heartbreaking things I've seen. I broke down crying in front of the whole family, and like it was just hard not to kind of cry. It's the fact that so many people around me, so many of my friends growing up, you see it, you see the family, see the devastation behind, and like as I was saying, like, I don't. It sounds bad when I say this, but I don't mean it in a bad way. I don't care about people who are gone because they're gone.
You can't bring them
and they have the big funerals and stuff, and I don't agree with that. Like, but people see that and go, well, maybe it would do that for me, and maybe that kind of gives me like that. Oh, people will love me then or something, or I don't know. And I just think that like once you're gone, you're gone. It's what's left behind, and the devastation which it causes is fucking scary and terrible. And you know, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. And anybody who is feeling the effects of mental health and is thinking about anything like that, reach out to whoever it is, because people care. Listen, see if sort of random reached out to me and said to me, if you want, reach out to me, no problem. Like and they were saying this here and there, you just gotta tell people you care, because you care about every human life. You don't care about like one or the other. Everybody's life matters, and people think that they're meaningless and nobody loves them, nobody cares about them, nobody's going to miss them when they're gone, or their problems are too big or anything like this. Speak to fucking people. Speak to people. People care. People will be there to help always. And what seems so big at the start, once you kind of look at it from someone else's eyes, it's not as big as what you think it is. And once you kind of tell someone, you break it down, problem shares a problem halved, as they say, and you keep doing that and just, getting back to being around people you love, people who care for you, and everybody does. I mean, anybody's thinking about it, they care about you. You know what I mean? It's people care about each other.
And that's the thing. What you said there, like there is a devastation that's left behind, and that's from a personal experience. But like that's people do need to realise, like it does get better. Like do you know what I mean? The sun's gonna come up in the morning, that kind of thing.
It's scary. Like in Belfast, there's kids as young as 10 years of age. Like I didn't fucking know what that was at 10 years of age. It's too common now. It's too talked about now. And like I remember if I had to say it, like I got slapped in the head if I wouldn't have said that, but I'm just saying, like, talk about suicide. I didn't know what it was at that age. Now kids are taking their own lives at that age, and they're going, what the fuck is going on in the world? What is going on?
Do you know that what you said about Belfast having the highest suicide rate? There was a stat that during the 30 years on from the Troubles, it's like more people have died from suicide than in the conflict itself.
So you know what that is? That's lasting effects from the Troubles on the generation now, and subconsciously and kind of through families that feeds through, but you don't know it's feeding through. You're feeding through all that kind of fucking trauma, which has been there, which has happened from the Troubles, and that's what I think is probably one of the problems. In the north, there's an awful lot going on and has went on over the last 30 odd years, and since the Good Friday Agreement, more people have died. How? Why? A war was going on in Belfast and more people have died in suicide. That's a fucking pandemic, not COVID. That's the pandemic.
Yeah, it's a mad one when you say it that way. Like, do you know what really caught me off guard at the start, Mick, when you were like, oh, this is how I grew up, and then I'm seeing this on the telly in Afghanistan, and it's a big thing, and you're like, oh, that's normal. Like, that's, like, to me, I'm like, that's devastating what's happening over there, and you're like, oh, yeah, sure.
That was growing up, and like, I was fortunate enough not to see anybody getting shot or anything, but like, I've seen many riots, I've seen people get hit with, I've seen a guy get hit with a petrol bomb. You know what I mean? Like, it was on fire when I was a kid at the rats and stuff. You know, it was all madness, but it was normal. It was fun. Now you were going to these and having fun. This was like we were just wee cunts, like, got up and starting rats and know what they were to say and stuff. And you look back at that and you go, fuck me, what was I playing at? But like at that time, there was like, you didn't know why you were doing it. Now people say Catholic, Protestant, but who the fuck knows what they are really?
Yeah.
Nobody knows, like, unless you're practicing, like, nobody knows why you're Protestant. Not many of them could tell you why they're Protestant or why they're Catholic.
Yeah.
They couldn't. You know what I mean? It's like, I tell you, most of them probably wouldn't be practicing anything they're doing, but yet they hate each other because they're both different religions. It's done. It's a he said, she said kind of thing, or them, us and them's. And it kind of, I think politically, it's been always kind of against each other, and that's probably why it is like that. But the guy on the Shanker Road is the same as me on the Falls Road. You know what I mean? I'd probably have more in common with him than I would have one of the posh kids over there to city to city. You know what I mean? So it's dumb. I don't understand it. I'll never probably understand it. But that's Belfast.
And do you think that's kind of built up, like, I don't know, like a tolerance to certain things, like stuff that we'd find shocking, you probably wouldn't, and maybe that's what caused this kind of ripple effect. It spilled out, and people don't talk. People don't express their emotion.
People don't talk. People don't know. And that's all over the world. That's even here and everywhere. Like that with mental health.
We're getting better all more
nowadays,
people that sit down like us here and have the chat and say, listen, open up, talk out, you know what I mean? Then it gets more normalised, especially when it's come from a world champion boxer, you know what I mean?
Champion boxer, grew up in the troubles of Belfast, this fella, and he's sitting there talking about it, like, you know?
Do you know what I mean?
It needs to be talked about. It's not talked about enough. I do a lot to promote it. I'm an ambassador for mental health in Belfast, and you know, it's just it's devastating. And talking is the main thing. You know, talking bollocks. If it is talking bollocks, you talk bollocks. You know what I mean? Just talk away, speak, care for each other, show each other love. Nobody shows love really no more. And no, social media has a big fact as well. A big effect, because people seeing these lives. No, this guy driving fucking Lamborghini, or this guy, look at him, he's on a private jet or something, or look at this, and they're all comparing. And it's fake lifestyles. People put it in social media. It's not real life, including me. You know, that's not my real life. I grind every single fucking day. I train every day hard. What you see on social media is what I want you to see. But I don't put anything up to go, look at you, fuck me, you know what I mean? But like, you get people who are going every day, you know, they're probably in like in a rent a car or doing something where you're going, fuck me, that's unreal, isn't it? But it's not even theirs, you know what I mean? It's not like
not
that.
real,
It's real. It's all pretending. People will do so much stuff for social media, portray someone they're not. Relationships, that is all the same. People pretend they're like in a loving relationship. They're probably sitting there on the phone to each other, beside each other, texting. Or mates are putting photos up of each other in a great holiday, and they're probably sitting there on their phones. You know what I mean? It's like, enjoy life, and don't live life through social media. Enjoy actual life. People are living through a false reality there, and that's what it is.
Yeah, well, that's why I always say I see the benefits of social media, but I think it's the younger generation who are suffering with social media, because they're all trying to compare with each other, and they're all looking at this and that happening. Where we're on the ball, like we've lived our lives. We've lived our lives without social media, without phones, and now we're at the age where we just know what's going on. Where the younger kids don't, and they see these rented cars and these holidays, and they're like, "Oh, that's the dream. That's where I need to be." And if they're not there at a certain age, it's a problem. It's not a problem. Just live your life.
Like, we don't have people reach out to us and say, like, oh, have this person on, have that person on, they're doing so well, and me and Terence sit down and look, and you're like, this person's faking it. Like, do you know what I mean? What are they going to come on and talk about? What we're seeing on their social media isn't real, and
you know what we have a real issue with is people who have fake followers.
Yeah,
I can't get. I can't
go to someone's page, 20,000 followers.
Why?
And 1,000 of them are real.
What do you gain out of having fake followers or buying followers?
You can't gain anything.
Do you know what I mean?
Doesn't do nothing. But that's trying to impress people.
Exactly.
I mean, like having loads of followers, stuff, just people can get sponsorship, but the people who are going to give the sponsorship, the end people, know what's real and what's fake. They can check that 100%.
Calvin can sit there and go, why is all them accounts fake? Like, why? Like, what's going on there? Why are they only getting 20 likes and they have 1.7 million followers? Do you know what I mean? If we can sit down and do that, surely companies can look and go,
it's a joke. See, so obviously I'm from West Belfast. It's one of the most poverty-stricken places in Belfast, and like I'm seeing kids down about, you know, like putting up designer stuff and all. You're going, where the fuck's this kid getting the money from? Is this a working class area or poverty-stricken area? And what's going on here? You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to live up to something when they shouldn't be. Just being themselves. They need to be themselves, and too much people are going out of their way, like obviously spending probably too much money and doing this here and getting into the wrong situations, and that's just trying to live a false life.
Exactly, and that's the thing with social media. It can lure kids into doing things in terms of selling drugs and things like that to keep up with a lifestyle if they can't afford, because we're all from working class areas.
Yeah.
We're all from none of us come up wealthy,
No.
if that's
Yeah.
all right to say. But like where nowadays kids are, they feel like they have to have the Canada Goose and the Montclair,
all that.
or else it's, do you know what I mean? And it is leading kids down the wrong route.
Yeah.
Not every kid, but certain youngsters, you know, it's like,
it happens. You see it happening. You can see it a mile off.
Yeah.
But it does happen.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
This short took a sharp turn towards the end, didn't it?
We'll end on a light-hearted note, Mick. Me and you have something we need to clear up. You didn't buy me a pizza.
I'm sick of hearing this because I'm only after win the fucking fight. You actually come up to the fights and you're walking and going, he should buy me a pizza.
No, I didn't
He
say
should
that.
fucking buy me a
No,
pizza.
hang on
Never
for a
mind
minute. I'm nearly sure I did buy you a fucking pizza. We went up to the fight because Deco was fighting John O'Carroll.
Yeah.
And
Oh, so it wasn't the same you. Sorry. Listen, I'm glad I didn't buy
Let's-
it.
let's be real.
I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah, you didn't pay for his pizza, shall we?
it's all coming out now. It's all coming out now, right? So the nightclub finishes. We talk
Yeah.
about Belfast. Everything closes at 2:00. So we go and get something to eat then. And the man's like, I'm closing up. And I was like, this is a load of bollocks. And you rock up then. And next of all, everything's open back up. I was like, what's going on here?
Oh, the oven spark.
Everything back on. And your mate Harlem was there. Because I remember introducing myself and he's like, oh yeah, I'm Harlem, what's your name? And I was like, your name is Harlem. I don't even want to tell you my name. Because you're just going to disappoint you know what I mean?
So you know who he is, don't you?
Yeah.
Chris Eubanks' nephew.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So I remember saying on the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, Harlem be raging," but Harlem actually spoke about this story recently.
On
Up, you
Twitter,
know,
I seen that.
so he spoke about it to me. I think we were in Belfast. Like, remember that time we were in Belfast here and we walked in, you yelled, you're getting the whole place open as a guy.
Yeah.
And then I shared your story to him
Yeah.
and he was laughing his balls and we were just talking about that too.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
a lot of
mental.
people text me like, do you know what, Mick Conlan's a gent, fair play and get you that pizza. I was like, you didn't get me the pizza.
But listen, I am a gent for getting the pizza place open for him to have a pizza. He was starving.
You
know
could
what
have
I mean?
paid for it as well. You're worth a few quid these
do you know what
days,
I mean?
Mick.
It's broke.
Broke world champion, the only broke world champion I know. But so I owe you a pizza, yeah, sound
Yeah.
like just sort us out when you have it. Or
What's
just
the best-
revolute me that money when you have it.
What's
Wherever,
the
you
best
know?
pizza place down here? Like?
Will we go for the pizza after this?
Nah, I can't
Me
make that.
mass.
I've got to lose.
You have kids and all to go home.
No,
to.
I've
We
got
have you
lose-
down
I've got
there.
lose.
Leave
Yeah,
world
never.
champion there. He's calling out mandatory
Yeah,
fight.
will we go for the pizza now straight away? You knew it was on him. Look at him.
yeah, fuck that.
He left his wallet up in the gap. That's what happened,
Yeah,
didn't
doing
it?
the Gavin Power job. Shell out the Gavin Power, you milcher.
But we'll get you a pizza. Well, I'll buy you a pizza, Mick, yeah? If you win the next fight, yeah? So you bring your belt down and I'll get you a 12
Nah,
inch.
listen, I prefer for him. He just said when you said it, so I prefer. Alright.
Yeah, right. Well, that's
We'll wrap it up
episode
then.
39. Is it 39?
I think so, yeah.
Episode 39 wrapped up.
Did he run a Marvin?
Yeah.
What? I ran a marathon, yeah.
I heard that.
Yeah, I ran a
With the last 5 podcasts, we've heard.
How many marathons have you ran, Mick? Zero. Yeah. How many marathons have you ran? Hang on for a minute. Don't wrap this up. How many marathons have you run? Shut your mouth. Too full. Built the 2 years round, and then I'll run away, and you won't be catching me because I'm guarantee you here. You probably beat me in a knock. You won't beat me in a race.
Mick got the hand in him as serious.
I'd be a Marvin faster than you, no doubt.
No doubt.
Here, without
Right,
training.
put it to
Without
the test.
training.
Aye.
Right. Why don't you do a
Belfast
marathon?
Marvin is in October.
Yeah, it's
Is
in
it?
a couple of weeks.
Right,
Why
I'll
don't you
do
run it? Right.
Alright, so.
Right, do the bet,
Ben,
boys.
no, right hand. Come on, you don't check each other. Right hand, yeah.
Sorry.
What's on the line here?
What do you want?
You have to do a marathon under 3:49.50. That was yeah.
I run my half marathons in, was it an hour 5?
You're doing your bollocks. No, you run a half marathon in 65 minutes. Who do you think you are, Jerry Redmond?
I do, I.
You don't.
Mate,
You don't?
I can do 5k in 16:36.
Right.
Right? I can do a
That
half
by
marathon.
4. Yeah, and bear in mind your endurance slows down as well. You're talking, mate. You are talking bollocks.
Let me show you this, right?
He thinks he's more further here.
1 second, I'll show him that.
Show me a Strava there. He's
If he pulls her up,
65 minutes. He was in the Olympics for the wrong sport. My quickest half marathon was an hour 40, and I done that during the marathon.
well, Jerry Power has him a half marathon in 1:29.
Yeah, and he's saying he's doing it 25 minutes quicker.
Oh, he's a
well, 24
professional
minutes
athlete.
quicker.
We don't know.
Nah, you're right. I wasn't.
Horse him right.
What was Stuart?
My brother.
Jared Edmund.
Ah.
His brother did it in an hour 29.
An hour 29.
I suppose
What's yours?
an hour 26.
An hour
that's good
26.
going.
That is good going.
That is good going.
But you know,
that was that. I'll be honest. That was a morning. I woke up during the first fucking lockdown thing and says, "What the fuck? I'll just run a half marathon today."
right, you have to double that though as well. That's
Easy,
the thing.
mate. That's
That
easy.
doesn't mean you're going to do the next half in an hour 26.
Like, you know,
But even if it
understand,
was
I'm
an
one of
hour.
the fittest people in the world.
All right.
I mean, see, like,
Right, well, if you beat my time, we'll buy you a pizza.
a full more. How much mile is that?
Mine is 26 point something.
I used 2 kilometers or something. Right?
Yeah,
So-
we're on the metric system, mate. Get with it, will you? 42.2k.
Right. That's it. That'll beat that.
Yeah, the Belfast Marathon. When you see
Has
Mick,
to be more than a pizza on the line after all this.
I'll buy you a pizza, you buy me a Rolex. That's fair. Like, you're worth a few
I'll
quid.
take the race to the podcast.
Right.
Isn't
I guarantee he'll knock his phone off. There won't be a word out of him the week of the Belfast Marathon.
Let me get
Oh, lads, I'm in training camp and all that. How are you?
Actually,
Blah,
with
blah,
that, we're going to put it back already because you know what? Last fight, I put my hamstring.
Did
I
you?
tore
Yeah.
my hamstring.
What are you making excuses for?
Nah, I tore my hamstring in the 5th round.
That's an excuse.
So like, I can't. There's no way I could be able to run that. Yeah,
That's an
Well,
excuse.
boys,
Give me-
listen, you have to do a marathon before the
Same.
end of the year. For the
Easy.
boys.
Easy, mate.
Mick, thanks for coming on, mate. It's a
Pleasure, lads. It's been a
Absolute
pleasure.
pleasure, pal.
Episode 39 wrapped up with the big Mick fella, yeah? Mick, thanks for coming
Thanks
in.
for
Cheers,
coming on,
boys.
pal.
Pleasure.
That's
Johnny,
a wrap.
take us out.
Subscribe to this podcast for free on the GoLoud app.
What you waiting for? Put your back in it. Just a little more. Throw your weight in it now. Tell your body you can. Walk it hard and long. When you finish that
The hep na ka.
song, go down, go down, go down.